Hey, welcome back to 7 Minute Stories here on the 167. I am here with the lovely and talented Donna Klamm. You laugh like that's not true. I mean, I've seen your work. You pretty good artist.
Well, thank you. Actually, I've been doing it for an awfully long time, and I still do. It's part of me anymore. It always has been, even since I was little. I grew up drawing with a pencil and a crayon on a brown paper sack, listening to the Lone Ranger on the radio. Because we had no electricity, no running water, I grew up on a farm. And 1935 is when I was born on Christmas Day. And, well, it was a depression. It was a dust bowl. I didn't get to go to church because gasoline was rationed. Everything was rationed, even butter. Thank goodness we made our own. But that's just kind of a prelude to my involvement with the church was not very much for many years because we had to work. We were on the farm. And I didn't do anything until I grew up, as a teenager. I was working on the farm too. But then when I got married, this was in 1955, and I was about 20, and we went to church a little bit with his mother for a while. But we got out on our own, and everything just sort of fell apart. I still have no actual religious training. But there's a God if you grew up on a farm, because he was there with you every day. And whether you ate or not, or whether the cows got out or whatever.
Well, you're living really close to creation and the Creator.
Well, yes, right down in the dirt. And you were really, and you'd look and see, is that sky green? Oh boy, that's a tornado or whatever, Pretty well used to doing things yourself. And that's probably what happened. And I was looking back on it, and I think that's kind of the thing that happened to me was farmers try to do things themselves, and instead of looking to God to take care of things. Well, for about 40 years, it was kind of a tumultuous marriage that was no children, off again, on again. I just buried myself in my artwork. That was a peaceful, free place to go from stress of work, stress of marriage, etc. We finally retired to the Ozarks, and I'm still doing artwork because that's a beautiful place. But the husband became ill, and he passed in 2010, and I didn't have a purpose. Oh, goodness, what's my purpose now? Not taking care of him. And my neighbors were nice people. They were going to church. 40 people church, a little bitty church in Camdenton. Our minister was a water patrolman, policeman. And excuse my voice, please, but he was I knew him. He was, he didn't arrest us or anything.
For being in water patrol?
Water patrol, and we had a boat, and we encountered him every once in a while. He was a neighbor, and he was a good minister. And I really got tied in a little more with the church and appreciating what he was talking about, and sit there and I'd sketch during his sermons, but that I always did stuff like that. But he kind of brought things more real to me, and I started reading different things because, I read philosophy for one thing to start with. And all they do is, philosophers have a lot of questions. They don't have any answers, really. And they have a lot of gods that don't do anything for them. They keep paying them, and they don't do anything. So then I read the book called Case for Christ.
Lee Strobel.
Yes, that sort of solidified things for me, because I knew Jesus was there. I just had trouble with him. I just had trouble believing this. And I knew God was there all the time, But the turning point and the one I have on my notes is when I read Heaven is for Real. I don't think a little child this age can lie about Jesus or haven't seen him. So I said, well, this has got to be real. And then a visitation with my sister, Carol, and my sister Irene, and Carol and I went to Florida to visit the sister, and they really brought me to know Jesus at her kitchen table. More or less, that was it. And realize that he does forgive your sins and so forth. And I decided then, I asked my nephew, which is my sister's boy, he's a grown man, and I asked him if he would baptize me. And I was baptized in the Atlantic Ocean at 78 years old. That's my first baptism. I probably was sprinkled a long time ago, when I was a baby, but I understand that, you have to know what's going on if you're going to be baptized. And so I was happy, and that made my sisters happy too.
What a place to do it. I mean,
Well,
I don't think you're going to have a hard time getting immersed in the ocean.
It was there. It was handy.
Yeah.
And at the same time, when I was with my sisters, I thought this is a great opportunity. So did that, and then I decided, hey, I have no children, and so I just borrow my sisters from time to time. But I decided, okay, the relatives are all up here in the city, in Gardner or Lenexa. So moved up here, and Carol brought me to this church. And when I saw the motorcycles outside, you had me from there, right there.
Did you and your husband ride motorcycles?
We rode Harley. I had my own Harley. He built it down low for me, and we did quite a few 1,000-mile trips. And I only fell over once. No, twice. First time was in the muddy ditch. Oh, bear.
Did you wreck, or did you tip over?
I just tipped over.
Oh, okay.
I was standing there with
me
one
worried.
wheel on one side and the other wheel on the other side. And, over you go, right in the mud. Oh, well, you can't help but laugh. But anyway, I never got hurt. Anyway, he was real careful and taught me how to ride. But just didn't have enough didn't have enough emphasis or push to go to church and really have get any training. What I was lacking was understanding. I loved the Old Testament because it's history. I like history, and to me, I have read now the Old Testament, and of course, once I went to church here, I got involved in the Bible study, and gives me a chance to be a secretary again. I was secretary to the little bitty church. But they didn't have anybody. They couldn't pay $2,000 a month for rent because they couldn't collect enough money each month.
Yeah, but your Bible study now, you take notes, you kind of give us a report about what's going on.
I just take notes and list the prayers that are praises and prayers. And actually, we read the different sections. We're in the New Testament now in John. And I got in the wrong John in the beginning. I didn't know there was two Johns there. Well, there is.
Well, there's 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, regular John.
All those.
Yeah.
Well, we're in 1 John, and there again. Once you look at that, you think, these people didn't die for a lie. These disciples, they wouldn't be dying for a lie. And so that, again, is kind of a bolster to me and my thinking about Jesus, God, heaven. Goodness, it's good to know we have a place to go when all this is over. And I just, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy being helping out as a secretary and sending notes if people have prayers to, like today, we had a problem. Delana has a problem, and we, with her family issues, illness, and we can pass on this information so that people can say prayers for her. And we send those out, or I send those out, and I'm not a computer guru. I barely know how to operate the thing, but at least I can do this. And I feel like I have a purpose. And this church has helped. I like the sermons. They do talk. They talk about the scripture. The only problem is you talk so fast I can't sketch.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I would look. I'm going to start checking in with you now. Though every time I finish the sermon, I'm gonna be like, "Let me see the sketch."
I sometimes I don't have one because I'm too busy listening, and it's great. And you guys are all great to give us our information. And now I failed to say that early on my artwork was a place that I always ran and buried myself from stress from an illness in the family or my ill husband or something or things to take care of. I buried myself in artwork all the way down in my life because it was a safe, nice place to go. I could always paint trees. I could paint nature, which I like, and but now I still paint and I still do cards. But I'm using it for, I hope, the benefit of some people, and especially some of our friends that are incapacitated, can't get out. I send some cards, and I hope that helps them. I think it does. And I just wanted to tell you also, I think that these interviews are very cathartic. I've been going over my notes for a week. And thinking about this and thinking, it's like you found an old closet and you get in there and you clean it out. That's what it's kind of done for me, is to clean out some of the, make me understand my journey. And so I've got to thank you for doing these things. They were really good. I've watched some, and I'm talking too much, way too much for this interview, I'm sure, but
You're doing great.
I'm old. I'm going to be 86 on Christmas Day.
Well, as we said, the longer you live, the longer the story's got to be,
The longer
right?
the story is. So I thank you for having them.
No, it's my pleasure, and thank you for sharing your story.
Is that it?
That's it. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.